Welcome back to the Crypto Factor. Today I have something totally special for you, something really awesome. We have BitBoy Crypto here on the channel to talk about DeFi. Let me start by saying thank you, BitBoy. I really appreciate you doing this again.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul, we're good friends, and definitely glad to come on here and talk crypto with you, and update everybody on what's happening.
So I'm not gonna do the usual asking you who you are and where you're from and what you did in high school and all those other questions. I have a link down in the description down below that has our interview that we did a while ago, which we really talked about a lot. So anybody can view it there after the video. But I do want to talk to you about DeFi because you talk about DeFi, you talk about a whole bunch of stuff on your channel. By the way, congratulations, almost 500,000 subscribers, 500,000. How does it feel?
Unbelievable. Sometimes I have a hard time wrapping my mind around it. I mean, people who know the history of this channel know it wasn't always like this, and we grinded and we worked harder than anybody else. We believe we're the hardest working channel in crypto, and for a long time it wasn't paying dividends, but when it finally popped, it's been the best year of my life. So.
It took a while. You grinded it out in the beginning. That's pretty awesome. So how does it feel to have the large? Is it the largest crypto channel on YouTube right now?
It is.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah, we recently passed Altcoin Daily. I think right now we're maybe about 20,000 subscribers ahead of them. But we like Altcoin
Wow.
Daily. They're good friends. It's hard when you're picking off your friends.
Right.
They're looking back, and I know how it is. I look back on people that are, have big gains in their subscribers as well. There's definitely some that are up and coming YouTubers for sure in the space, but it feels great. It's a validation, and a lot of people in my family told me, they're like, we thought you were crazy. We really, really, really thought you were crazy, and that this whole thing was going to pop at some point, and you were going to go work at McDonald's. But no, we kept grinding, and finally people see the value of the content. But the thing that I would like to say about that is, we worked extremely hard to get where we're at, and there were times where, because now it's not just me. I've got 13 employees. I think we have 10 that work here in the office, and I've got other employees in remote places. But when it was just me, there was a lot of times where I was grinding, and it was just hard work, but I wasn't seeing the payoff, but it was because of all that time when I was just in the data, in the charts, in the news, checking out the stories every single day, that eventually would give me kind of the ability to take the pulse of the crypto market in a minute, and I think that the hard work that was done when nobody was watching was really what built the channel.
Right.
The numbers this year have bared out. So
awesome.
It's just a tribute to hard work. I think anybody, you can do it if there's a goal that you want. You work hard enough.
Well, cheers, man. I got water here. No bubbles involved. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, man. So I got a lot of people on my channel asking me what DeFi is all about. And, we know it's decentralized finance, but a lot of people don't understand. We have so many questions. And I will have people asking me in the chat questions live to you, since you're more of an expert than I am. We're not going to get too deep into the technical stuff, but just an explanation about what it is, how to get in it, why to get in it, and so on. So my first question is, what is DeFi? I have to start somewhere, right? So what is DeFi?
Right, of course. Yeah, DeFi is a word that we really take for granted, that most people know what it is, and they don't. And it stands for decentralized finance. And funny story, I went to, when I bought my house last year, I had to move some stuff into storage. And so I went to a storage unit, and I went in there, and the guy that worked at the storage place, he said, oh, yeah, I've been working here for a few months, and I was laid off because of the pandemic and things like that. And he said, I actually have a background in finance. I was, working in finance before. And I said, oh, you're working in finance? Do you know what decentralized finance is? Do you know what DeFi is? And he said, no, I never heard of it. And I was like, man, that's so, even the people in finance don't know what's coming. But it is a massive tidal wave that is coming in called decentralized finance. It's a way that we can do all the functions that we've been forced to do under banks and central banking and lenders and mortgage brokers and realtors and the real estate attorneys and the whole nine yards. We've been forced to do that in a system that, number one, is only having advantage for certain people, but then number two, that's going to get absolutely broken by decentralized finance, because this is going to be those same things done without the need for those third parties. And kind of a great example of this is lending, and there is still some. There are still some things we got to work out, like decentralized credit scores. That's something where you actually have people that don't have money. That's why they need money, right?
Right.
In crypto,
like the XRP boys.
What's that?
The people in XRP.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, no pun. I pick on them sometimes, man. It's just funny. But I used to be an XRP holder, but you know, whatever.
Of course.
I like picking
we
them.
hold a little bit of XRP ourselves.
Of course.
Certainly, distance ourselves from that holding as much as possible recently.
Yeah.
But the thing is when you think about lending, nobody wants to go to a bank. Nobody wants to, have to put up every single thing that you have for data and information for them to make decisions on. And in cryptocurrency, most of the times when people are taking loans, the reason they're taking loans is because they're trying to take advantage of the gains that they've had in crypto without having to cash out their crypto. And so through decentralized finance, through projects like, Aave and Maker and Compound, you're able to take those loans out, and Celsius as well, in BlockFi, without having to actually lose your crypto. And so you get, very low interest rates. They're not, not super low, 5 to 7% in some cases. And you're able to get that immediately. All you got to do is have the cryptocurrency as collateral, and you put it up, and it's all instant. It's all smart contract.
Right.
Nobody's jumping in the middle of that. And that's an easy way for people to understand how decentralized finance works without the third party, because there's nobody to check your data. There's nobody to check to check your documentation, make sure you got your right passport number or whatever it is, or driver's license number. And so that's basically, you can apply that to everything in banking the same way. Now, like I said, in crypto, a lot of people are taking loans from collateral based on the assets they have. We do know there are some things that still have to be solved, like credit scores. There is a project called Smart Credit, and they're actually, tackling that. There's a few other places that are trying to tackle that credit score thing because, a lot of people that need to take loans don't have money. That's why they need the loan. So, there are some things that still need to be worked out, but we've had so many problems here with the banks lately. Here at BitBoy Crypto, we had our bank account closed down. I actually right here have a check. This check is from my bank, BB&T, that closed our account down. This is the last $102 from the account,
Wow.
And we're going to frame this because one day we're going to be worth more than BB&T is, and we're going to remind them of that they shut our account down. Why do they shut our account down? Because I made a Coinbase transaction. Instead of going to PayPal to my bank account, which I usually do, this was a larger transaction for a house, I took the money directly from Coinbase in a bank wire to my bank account. Because of that, they shut my account down. And not only that, they reported me as fraud to, it's a company called Early Warning Signs, or First Warning Signs. It's kind of like a credit score for banks where they know whether they should give you an account or not. And we actually can't even open a bank account now in a traditional bank. We have to go to a credit union. But because of a Coinbase transaction. Like, that's how archaic this financial system that we have is. Coinbase, by the way, FDIC insured.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So now you have to open up a bank account in a different country, open up a company there, and it's actually simple to get around. They're just idiots because anyone can do it.
They don't want my money.
They don't want your money. They don't want your money in America, man. I think it's got something to do with the elections.
Who knows?
Anyway, so that's basically DeFi. Now there's different types of DeFi, different types of DeFi projects. Do you want to talk about? By the way, I just had the incredible case of deja vu. Anyway.
Oh, did you?
Yes, like incredible.
Did you see someone talking about DeFi projects?
I saw this. No. So let's talk a little bit about different DeFi projects, because obviously there's decentralized exchanges, and you have oracles, right, that work with DeFi projects, if I'm not mistaken, and so on. Do you want to help us out? Do you want to clarify this a little bit for our audience?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of different arenas. I mean, kind of like I mentioned earlier, like Smart Credit. They're doing something trying to get centralized credit scores. You have yield farming projects that are basically ways where you can lock up money and earn a yield on that, and you can farm new tokens. Then you have some that are just basically interest bearing, that are bearing interest, like Celsius has. You're able to do that through Celsius, just lock up your money staking. I mean, also known as staking. So you got different projects that work on that. Then you have other ones that actually provide the loans. Aave, they work on something called flash loans. Then you have other projects. One of my favorites. I love talking about this one. I love this project. I don't have any affiliation with this project other than I am invested in it. Synthetics. I love Synthetics. I think it's got the potential to be the number one DeFi project out there. Because what they're doing is, with Wall Street bets, right, we all saw what happened when kind of David decided to go against Goliath. Goliath being the hedge funds, the big money, David being the normal retail investor. And when they link together, they're actually more powerful than the hedge funds. And we saw what these hedge funds are doing to short the price of companies, and then everything they're doing kind of in the middle to basically bankrupt those companies to make their shorts work so they make money. This is called derivatives. This is basically all IOUs, right? Shorting on leverage is an IOU. It's basically you're borrowing money from someone who's borrowing money for someone who's borrowing money. And there's actually $1 quadrillion of derivatives out there. Some say it's multiple quadrillion dollars.
Right.
But some of the lower estimates are somewhere between 500 trillion to $1 quadrillion, which is half of all the money in the world at minimum is basically paper IOUs.
Wow.
Now, the Wall Street Bets has proven that we can fight against that, but you're never going to be able to close down a $1 quadrillion industry, right? We all know there's too much money there.
Yeah.
But what we can do is we can get access to that market. And that is what Synthetics is doing. They're creating synthetic derivative versions of every asset out there. So if you live in a country where you're banned from being able to invest in an American stock, you can invest in the synthetic version of that stock.
Gotcha.
They have two different kinds of each asset. They have the synth, which is basically if you want to long the asset. Then they have what they call the reverse synth, which is if you want to short the asset. Which is doing it all on paper, but you're able to make the real gains. And so I think something like that's absolutely huge. And there's so many other projects out there. I mean, a lot of people say Oracle projects are also in DeFi, like Chainlink.
Right.
CoinMarketCap does consider them a DeFi project, where they're trying to bring. It's not just blockchain data to off-chain data. A lot of that is price feeds. So definitely when it comes to prices, that would definitely fit decentralized finance. And the thing is that Andreas Antonopoulos, right? He said a long time ago in his book Internet of Money, which is actually a collection of speeches. It's not really it's not a book per se. I mean, it is a book.
It's a
not
Bible
written in book form. Yeah, exactly. And he said that he believes that the first application of any new technology that we're going to see in the future is finance. It's money, right? It's money itself. Bitcoin was supposed to be that, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin is not money. Bitcoin is digital gold. I mean, at this point, most people realize you don't want to get rid of your Bitcoin. You hold it because the value is going up. So Bitcoin actually, in a lot of ways, has not been able to fulfill that. Decentral finance is that dream realized, is that application of blockchain to finance. Crypto and finance, crypto is money. So they're really the perfect meeting place. And so anything in the world of finance that can be done can also be done in blockchain. And, so anything you can think of that fits that description, there's a coin out there that does it.
So would you say synthetic, without naming your other four, would you say synthetics is one of your top 5 picks?
In terms of DeFi, yeah, absolutely.
DeFi, yes. Don't mention the rest. We'll talk about them later on. But I'm just curious because synthetics is one of my favorite plays too.
Yeah, synthetics. Do you want me to give some of my top?
Yeah, later on, because I saw one of the questions over there, and I want to leave the questions for later on because I have a few questions of my own I need to answer.
Okay, sure.
Because
we'll come back, but synthetics
we'll come back
is
with
number one DeFi project.
It's number one. Okay, perfect. Mine too, actually. Mine too.
Oh wow!
I actually took some profits lately, like just a while ago on synthetics, and I've really regretted it. I just wish I kept it all there. And I did the same mistake on Link, believe it or not. I took profits, but hey, it is what it is. I guess you have to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's a question that's very common. Is there such a thing as DeFi mining?
Well, there is liquidity mining and yield farming.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could definitely look at that as mining in a way.
Sort of a mining, maybe.
What's that?
It's a sort of mining, not in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of mining in terms of like proof of work is you're trying to create the coin, which you're not doing that necessarily in DeFi. It's more like you're unlocking them, and yield farming is kind of a complicated, potato to peel.
Yeah.
I just made that up. Potato to peel.
That's you can coin that phrase. All puns intended.
Yeah. So I think that So when and really like traditional mining, like for Bitcoin, it's not really profitable unless you have free power. You know, that's why a lot of people ask me. They say, I want to get into Bitcoin mining. I'm like, you're going to lose money. It's it's better to take that money and
just buy Bitcoin.
Into Bitcoin itself,
yeah.
And you're going to make more money that way. If you have free power, you are going to be able to make some money doing that. But I would still say, even if you do have free power, unless you have an absolutely killer miner or mining setup or multiple devices, if you just have one device, probably still going to get better gains just putting that money into Bitcoin. at least over the next year. So yeah, when it comes to DeFi though, the idea of mining and creating value from yourself by just running a device, kind of the same thing, right? You're taking advantage of other people's platforms and yield farming platforms, and you're staking a certain cryptocurrency up there, as well as liquidity mining and liquidity pools on Uniswap, and then other people are able to do actions on the other end that will result in you earning more crypto. And so,
Right.
in a way, I would say liquidity mining and also staking and yield farming are kind of ways of mining crypto.
Right. Now there are different platforms. Like I know DeFi was on Ethereum, but now there's Binance Chain, and is there other platforms as well? I think Avalanche is its own platform. So
Avalanche, Avalanche is a new platform that's coming out that is out right now.
Is it their own blockchain or?
Yeah, Avalanche is a
Right.
blockchain. And I recently just did a video on the potential on it is unreal.
I actually bought some just because I actually bought some because of you, just so you know.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just insta bought.
Yeah, I mean,
It's doing good.
I don't think I had anything to do with my video. I think it's good that I get education out there that people can see it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not a dummy. I know that when we cover smaller projects,
Yeah.
that definitely people go buy it. I mean,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do about that? Like, guys, I got this really cool project, but definitely nobody go out and buy it right now. I
Right.
tell people to go buy things. But with the bigger projects, we feel a lot more comfortable. Like we don't, likely we won't move those because people go and buy them based off of our videos. But
Yeah.
it's cool to see when you start covering something like Avalanche. It's kind of similar to Avalanche is very similar to Cosmos and to Polkadot. It's kind of a big ecosystem, like an internet of blockchains, not necessarily just a smart contract platform like Ethereum, which Polygon now, which is the Matic rebrand, they're actually trying to bring that whole blockchain ecosystem into Ethereum, right? Everybody wants to build everything into Ethereum from the later projects. So, but yeah, Avalanche is definitely one that is one to reckon with. I mean, you don't just show up in the top 50 overnight and not be a solid project.
Yeah, very true, very true, very true. So why DeFi? Why is DeFi so important? I know we kind of covered it, but okay, why is it important for people watching this channel? Why is it important for investors, speculators, if you will, but also fintech, financial technology, which is DeFi? Why do you think it's important?
Well, I learned something a long time ago. And I actually have a new show called New Money Gang. This is a separate show that's not crypto. It's about showing people, different ways that people are making money online. And it's kind of like the idea of like breaking through the smoke and mirrors of what people are really doing to make money. Because we know the biggest way, the number one way to make money on the internet is to tell people how to make money on the internet.
Of course.
Of course. And so you look, there's all these like gurus out there that make these courses and they sell these courses on like, this is exactly what you need to do to make all the money. And then you're finding out like they don't do any of that. They just made the course. They just made their money on.
Yeah.
The idea here is that the business of money is the number one place where there's money.
Yeah.
And so with DeFi, decentralized finance is the number one sector of money, and crypto a sector completely of money. So when you really look at that convergence of those two ideas, I think I've done this twice on this video, maybe, I don't know.
That's fine.
When you look at the convergence of those ideas, it's very easy to see why this is going to absolutely crush it. It happened over the summer. What I'm hoping is, and look, we learned a lot of stuff over the summer. We learned that there's a lot of projects out there that aren't doing good stuff. And we certainly got manipulated ourselves by some people. There's a big learning curve for all of us.
Me too.
All of a sudden, overnight, all of these projects are just popping out. And, some of them are rug pulls. This is where we got introduced to the rug pull scam. Because now we have decentralized exchanges. You don't need permission to list on. It presents the opportunity for a lot of good projects, but also the scam projects. And I felt like over the summer, all of us kind of learned together, right? People on my channel learned, I learned, people that were building projects learned. I think we're not going to see that same kind of like scammy side because everybody's more skeptical. And what that means is over this next run for DeFi, I believe that which we're calling round two, DeFi round two, if you will, we're going to see more of the solid projects come to life. And we're seeing it now with Synthetics and Aave. They're absolutely killing the market right now. There will be new projects that come up out of that that are totally legit. I mean, I know there's a lot we talked about on the channel But I think that hopefully this is going to be different than what we saw before, and so the explosion is coming one way or the other. It's just are you going to pick the right coins? I think that's the really important thing to think about.
Right, right. So what about using DeFi? How would you say is using DeFi easy? Okay, I think in the most part we all know how to use Uniswap. Well, maybe not everyone here actually. So
we forget sometimes how, like, you see it on the rate of growth on my channel. The majority are brand new to crypto.
Yeah.
And that's why the numbers are popping, because people are coming to the space. And so sometimes I neglect that. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, you guys just go here and do this. And people are like, I have no idea what MetaMask is. Like,
yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to show people. It's not that hard to do, but it's very hard to show people. But if you haven't used it yet, I suggest to try it. Like, well, actually, don't try it now because of the fees, right? Fees on are just insane right now.
If you're a smaller trader right now, is not a good time to be making trades on decentralized exchanges.
You have a decentralized exchange. You have your own decentralized exchange.
I do. It's not. Mine is actually a decentralized exchange aggregator.
Right.
So it's called bitswapdex.io. Bitswapdex.io. It's an aggregator that compiles the information from 14 different decentralized exchanges, including Balancer, Uniswap, Mooniswap, Curve, all of the big ones, into one place. So you automatically get the best liquidity, the best price. And it's the best way to make the trade. The only caveat to that would be if the coin you're looking at is literally only on Uniswap.
Yeah.
You'll pay like 1/100th of a fraction more doing it on BitSwap, because you get deemed it's 0.001%.
Right.
It's a fee to trade there, which is basically nothing. But if it's only on Uniswap, then you would get the same price. So if it's any project that's on multiple exchanges, you're going to get by far the best deal going to BitSwap. So that's been real fun. It's been real fun because, seeing all the things people are trading on there. I mean, we do over $1 million in volume there every single day.
Nice, nice. So without mentioning your top 5, tell me some good DeFi projects people should check out and get like acquainted with if they want to make money in this bull run, but also maybe in the future. So maybe a short-term, but also long-term plays.
Yeah, so, I mean, one that a lot of people are, I'll give you 2 that a lot of people are talking about right now. I mean, one people are talking about a lot because we recently covered it and it exploded. But there's a reason for that. Not because we covered it, but because there's so much big money behind this one.
Okay.
It's APY Finance. I just talked about that on a different channel as well. So this is one we got a lot of research into. We have no affiliation. We haven't talked to anybody that works there. They haven't given us $1. This is one that we've been able to uncover. There's a lot of the ties on the financial end into this one that have been tied to a lot of the biggest projects, including Polkadot and Aave. So because of that, and what it is, which is a robo yield farming advisor, what this means is it makes the process of you investing into yield farming very easy. You don't have to guess where you're getting the best price. You basically put your stable coin in, or however many stable coins you want to yield farm, and then it automatically sends you to the best place where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. And it's really cool. Like, it's really good what it's doing. I think it's definitely one to watch out for. Another one is Badger DAO. That's another one that we like. We are just
Badgers.
We are invested in both of these projects. I do want to be clear about that and disclose that. We are invested in them because we've seen what's happening with them. Badger DAO has absolutely crushed it. If you look at it since it launched at the beginning of December, I mean, it is just on a straight parabolic run. It's a way to kind of link Bitcoin and DeFi, right? Which we know is something really cool that we got to do if we really want to get this thing moving easier. Which, like, Polkadot is making some of that stuff easier with its way, decentralized. It can run decentralized exchanges. Like Ethereum dexes are great, but you can only trade Ethereum versions or wrap Ethereum versions of assets. But Polkadot's got like reverse compatibility, and it's working on multi-chain stuff. That's why the multi-chain thing is so big. That's why projects like Avalanche also have so much potential because they have a kind of different feel to them. They have a different setup, a different infrastructure that will allow more interchangeable and interoperable elements, and that stuff can change real fast.
Awesome.
This wouldn't have been that big of a deal a year ago, but now we're seeing that there's definitely a lot of people interested in the multi-chain ecosystems.
Awesome, awesome. Now, by the way, for you watching right now, if you're getting value, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like BitBoy Crypto, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to his channel after this live stream ends. And check out right now, if you have any questions for BitBoy, or me, why not? But if you have any questions for BitBoy, go ahead and ask him in the chat right now, because I'm going to get to your questions pretty soon, right? So let me ask you something else. So what about Superfarm? Superfarm is coming out from Elliott Trades right now. I know we were talking about them earlier on. That is a DeFi project. What is that all about?
Yeah, so Superfarm is basically, it's a very complicated project. I couldn't even pretend to actually like break it down the way that Elio does. He does such a phenomenal job. It's a way to kind of link blockchain, NFT, collectible assets, and gaming and yield farming. Like if you can just imagine this Superfarm with all of those elements into it, that's what the Superfarm, ecosystem is going to be. There's going to be one piece of the ecosystem that is just strictly gaming, and you're going to be able to take those NFTs, like we keep saying NFTs, right? Non-fungible tokens. A good way to think about those in the world of crypto are like trading cards, collectible cards, digital art.
You have some.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot. We got our own NFT deck builder game coming out on Wax here in a couple of months. Very excited about that. We have big plans. We're going to be working hand in hand with Elio with Superfarm.
Nice.
When that thing gets fully launched, we're going to, I was working on my own NFT platform, and when I heard what Elio was doing and talked to him, we decided to nix our own and to work strictly with him on his. And so we're really excited about that coming up. I think that, back to what we're talking about with NFTs, in the gaming world, NFTs are like weapons, skins, different aspects of your character. And so that's such an easy transition because I know my kids play Fortnite. My kids love Fortnite. Every week they're like, oh, Dad, we got this crazy outfit that's on here. If you just give me $10 in V-Bucks so I can get this one outfit, I'll never ask again. Even though this is 47 consecutive weeks and the one week that we didn't ask, you were out of town. Like the kids love that stuff. Like last night, I took my kids to Target to just buy, to buy a couple things. And when there, I told them they could get like a toy or whatever. And so, my daughter, she went and got, it's kind of weird. Like she got a balloon. It's a robotic balloon animal dog.
That's actually pretty cool. I'd like one of those, dude. Like, you can like fly it around. I'd love one of those, dude. I have it right behind me here. I have like.
But my son who's 5, he went to the Fortnite aisle they have there. They have actual Fortnite toys, and he got. It looks like a little vending machine, and it's basically like little guns, and they come out in little small packages they can tear out and use with their character.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of the same thing like in real life that they're doing on the video games. They're obsessed with these guns. Not obsessed with guns like, in a weird way.
I am.
They're obsessed with I like them as well. I go to shooting range quite a bit and do go hunting and things like that.
There you go.
But when it comes to the video game side of it, they're obsessed with the weapons and the skins. They love that stuff because it makes their character unique. And the thing that people miss that are, I don't know how old you are, Paul. I know I'm
43
38 years old. How old are you?
43.
You're 43. I'm 38, right? We come from a generation where video games were just kind of being
Leisure Suit Larry 6, dude. Leisure Suit Larry 3. Space Quest and Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you go way back with them, okay?
Old school,
Atari style, E.T.
Well, no, it was on the PC, but Atari, Atari too.
Yeah.
World
Atari,
games.
I started with the NES, Super Mario Brothers. That's the first game I ever played. Duck Hunt and the racing game. Or the Olympics game with the hat that you ran on. How ghetto is that? And what happened is that we looked at games from a perspective of we're always trying to beat a game. That was it. It was one continuous story. You beat the game, you won, you could challenge yourself to get more points, whatever. Today, gaming is 100% social for kids. It's all social. It's not about what you can achieve. It's how you can socialize, how you can relate to other characters in the game. How can you be competitive with other people in the game? But it's all about that social aspect, especially in the pandemic as we moved to like this total Zoom world everybody's in. My kids were homeschooled already, or everybody's homeschooled. Our kids do a lot of sports, and that's how we get them, integrated with other kids and at church and different things. But when it comes to, other kids that are not homeschooled, like now they're having to live that life. The way that they're communicating and socializing is through video gaming. Very interesting statistic. Less 16-year-olds have gotten their license this year in the United States than any other year. and yeah, some of it is pandemic driven, but a lot of places they're still open. Is they don't care as much because it's not as much about going out and doing, going to Chili's. It's about gaming together. And that's the thing that can really push NFTs so much further as it's linked with gaming. And I think Elio's done a really good job of capturing that idea from this generation of gaming and socializing and collecting and NFTs and branching it all together along with financial incentives from yield farming. So I'm pretty excited to see where that thing's going to go.
I think we're going to get into virtual sex pretty soon. I'm not even joking about that, by the way.
No, I think that's... I'm not going to say who it was. Okay, I won't say who this person was.
Okay.
I'm going to protect his identity at this point.
Okay.
I was at a conference
Dox
back in...
Dox him.
What's that?
Dox him.
I'm not going to dox him.
Okay.
No, so we were at a conference back in I think it's a Consensus, back when they had that kind of thing, a live conference in 2019.
Right.
And we were there, and he came up to me, he said, dude, I want you to know, I don't really watch porn, but I did some VR porn, and it's crazy. And I was like, first of all, why would you walk up to me and tell me that? What?
Hi, are you BitBoy? I just had VR sex. Want to try it?
If people watch my channel, they know my channel is very family friendly. We don't cuss on the show. We might make some funny innuendos from here and there. But I'm a pretty moral person. We do things differently on my channel than a lot of people do. And I just felt it was so weird that he felt that I was the person he wanted to randomly come up to and say that. I was like, okay, cool, I guess, if you're into that kind of thing. So I do think he expressed how wonderful that was in his opinion. I certainly would have no thoughts on that, as I have never even put on a VR headset at all. But
oh my God, hilarious.
I think you are right. We are moving to a very weird place, in that regard.
Hey, BitBoy Crypto, let's talk about virtual sex.
So, pretty weird.
Wow. Okay. Oh man. So let's try. Anyway, Super Farm. Yeah, now here's the thing. Super Farm, you can, and this is not, I'm not trying to advertise or promote either trade. I haven't even met the guy, but this is interesting. Super Farm.
Good guy.
I can see. He used to be FUD TV back in the day.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
He's very honest. He's one of these creators that are
I like him.
very authentic and very honest and very smart.
I like him. I like the consistency as in his videos and stuff. But my question is this: you can buy Super Farm on via Polkastarter, right? Now, let's say you have Polkastarter tokens. By the way, is Polkastarter DeFi? Is it considered DeFi?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure.
Neither am I. That's what I'm asking.
They're falling into the DeFi realm, and it's funny because I'm actually in about 45 minutes about to go into an interview with a guy that is an expert in Polkadot IDOs, as they call them, like Polkastarter and Polkaswap and some of these other ones. And we're going to be talking on my channel on Sunday about top 5, Polkadot coins that are upcoming. So I hope to learn a lot more. I'm just
okay.
I'm really heavy in the Ethereum and Cardano ecosystems and Algorand as well.
Right.
When it comes to Polkadot, we're just kind of really getting in that one and learning more about that from the inside out.
Well, the reason I was me too. You can't just. There's just so much information bombarding you at the same time. It's insane. But okay, have you
pretend to know it all?
Have you used it? Have you used Polkastarter?
I've not used Polkastarter yet. No, I've not used it.
All right. So
I went to Polkaswap. I was checking out Polkaswap the other day, but I think it's not even fully up and running yet. So.
Right. So if somebody Elliot should have a video on how to use Polkastarter.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I literally want to. I literally searched for it and I couldn't find any videos on it. So maybe you could do it.
Yeah.
You should do a video because I want to use it. I don't know how. I have Polkastarter tokens, but I don't know how to use them. I was actually considered selling them because I'm not using them.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Definitely. Like I said, Polkadot is something we're trying to gauge people's interest. What we found on my channel is people are not nearly as interested, and might be a lesson in here. On my channel, people are not nearly as interested in Polkadot as they are Cardano and Ethereum, and that's what. And
right.
We love those projects, and we talk about them a lot. We do a Polkadot video. It doesn't perform as well, and that's because the attention is not there yet.
Yeah.
But we do believe the attention will be there later this year. We think when it had a little run, people were really excited about it. When the core group of people that were in crypto was much smaller due to the prices not exploding yet, there was interest there because it's your more dedicated people.
Okay.
We're trying to find out, is this something that people really think is going to take off and, they want to know more about. So, definitely a tutorial on Polkaswap or Polkastarter could be in the cards soon.
Awesome, awesome. So let's get into some of the questions from my audience right here because okay, let's have a look at some of the comments here. Different misfire, different thumbs up. Welcome BitBoy. You got a welcome BitBoy from Hussein. Loyal sub here. Nice to see Ben here. People are loving you here, man. Crypto.
Awesome, man. Thank you to the people in the comment section. I'm sure probably some of them are in my community as well, and glad to see you guys over here. And
Now,
if you're not in my community, then definitely big shout out to you as well.
And you should get onto his community. You should go to BitBoy's channel. I love BitBoy's channel. There's a reason why he has 500,000 subscribers. Okay, like there must be a reason. It's not by luck. Now, I see something about crypto factor Ben BitBoy Paul. Check it out, man. Maybe some of my text is getting cut or something. I don't know. What are BitBoy's top 5 DeFi projects from Hussein? So Hussein's asking, what are your top 5 DeFi projects?
Yeah, so I don't usually. It changes dynamically, is what I would say. We're always looking at what projects have the most potential based on where we're at in the cycle. Right now, the ones that I'm looking at, I definitely believe that Chainlink and Aave are up there right now. And I've already said Synthetics is my number 1 DeFi pick. I love Synthetics. I think Synthetics is great. It offers so much to the normal person to be able to jump into these crazy markets that these big money investors made all their money with. So outside of that, Chainlink and Aave, there's some rumors of Chainlink and Aave being in some type of alliance that could come out to bear next week, and that might be why the prices have been running up pretty recently, and Compound also would be included in that. It's a rumor right now. We're still waiting to see if it's confirmed, but hopefully people will see some big bang for the buck on those projects in the short term. But in the long term, to me, Chainlink and Aave are far and away like the giants in the DeFi space. And of course, I gave you some of the lower ranked picks that we have in terms of APY Finance, Badger. But I do think that there are definitely a lot of other projects that are getting a lot of attention right now. And I would say 1inch. That's 1inch is also a decentralized exchange aggregator. It's got its own token. And 1inch has done really phenomenal lately. It's pumped really, really big. A lot of people made a lot of money with it. I think they did kind of a similar token swap or token drop to what Uni did over the summer, or which was, people were in it during that time. The Uniswap airdrop was.
Oh my God, dude! I sold 3/4 of those.
Yeah. Oh, I sold almost all of them.
No, I
made a pretty good bit with them.
Yeah.
I had 6 or 7 of those airdrops because I had a lot of addresses I was using, so I got like a pretty good bit. I think it went up to. I think that night it went up to like $3,500 an airdrop or something crazy like that. And I had like 6 or 7 of them. It was a good night.
Oh, okay.
I sold some of them at the top there, and then went down and still made some money with it. Don't have nearly as much as I want to. We certainly have some Uniswap, which the Uni token also a good one. And you can kind of look at the Uni token, and you can look at 1inch, and you can see a lot of comparisons. And you see where Uni is, and you see where 1inch is. And one thing we're really big about talking on my channel is the potential, right?
Yeah.
Like when you look at the very top, there's just not as much potential because the numbers for market cap get insane. And we believe this year the market cap's went upwards of $15 to $20 trillion. I believe that by the end of the year.
Yeah.
But at some point you start running into mathematical problems with how much money can get into these during the bull run. So when you see something like 1inch that has a lot of the same characteristics as Uniswap, you say, hey, this one right here definitely has a lot of potential. It could be a good one. As far as maybe another lower ranked one, we like Injective Protocol pretty good. Right now it's been 35 on the DeFi rankings on CoinMarketCap. We recently did a video where we covered INJ. It's a way to link decentralized exchanges together. And we think that this is another one that's got a lot of potential that a lot of people aren't talking about. And we see a lot of times that these are the type of projects that explode when they've got a lot of good fundamentals behind them. They've got a very solid use case, but yet people haven't really picked up on it yet. We think this one could definitely, just think about it. If it could actually link together decentralized exchanges and, allow some cross-chain exchanging to go on, it could be a fix to a lot of the problems that, the singular chain decentralized exchanges have.
What do you think of Cardano's decentralized? They're going decentralized, aren't they? At some point.
Yeah. So I love Cardano. That's definitely one of my top picks in general for this year. So I got a Cardano pillow behind me back here. We love ADA.
Oh, yeah.
We like Charles a lot. I used to not like him, but I never met him and talked to him person to person. When I did that, I gained a whole new respect for his outlook on things and what he's done with ADA. And we think the Cardano is going to be a very strong competitor to Ethereum in the next bull run. For this one, we're really working a lot off of speculation. The thing is Cardano has just now got to a place where they're working out the details of not only their ERC20 converters, but also for their own, they're called native tokens on Cardano. On Ethereum, they're called ERC20s.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's other token standards, ERC721s, ERC1151 or 55s, things like that. But with Cardano, they're called native tokens. And when these native tokens start launching the same way we're seeing the IDOs on DOT, that's when the DeFi, we believe, will really come into play for Cardano. And that's, one thing we are expecting and anticipating, to take the Cardano price to the next level.
Nice. Perfect. Let me see some other questions here. When is the best time to be taking profit when the current bull, and when is the current bull run going to end?
Yeah, this is a question I get a lot because I talk about it a lot. And, if no one's ever heard me talk about this, I have a very strong opinion on it, which is that this bull market will end, for sure. You hear a lot of people talking about Bitcoin super cycle, and, you see, it's so weird. You see even educated, well, it's not weird when you really think about it, but you see people like Tim Draper, big money investor. You see the Winklevoss twins, big money investors. You see a lot of these big money people saying, this bull run's going to continue into 2022 and 2023. Nah, ain't going to happen. If that happened, that would be something different.
2022, maybe 2022, maybe, and that's a maybe.
Possibly. I believe that's a no. I think the date I have very strong that I've said many times, September 28th, 2021. And
write it down, September 28th, right here. I'm going to get my editor to make a clip of this.
There you go.
28th.
September 28th. Now, of course, the literal day is not that important, okay? It's a guide. 1 week before or 1 week after. So either near the middle to the end of September to the very, very beginning of October. This is when we will see the Bitcoin bull run come to an end. Now, because we understand the bull market, we understand the Bitcoin cycles, it's also possible that dip or the crash, the top of the market, could get baked in a little bit even before that, maybe the beginning of September. Definitely wouldn't look for it anytime in August or earlier. This is based on something called the golden bull cycle ratio. Every bull cycle in history has had a 49% to 51% ratio between the bottom of the market to the halving, and then the halving to the top of the market.
Gotcha.
And it's almost a symmetrical amount of candles. And we know how many candles there are between the bottom of the market and this halving that occurred on May 11th, 2020. And so when you do that math and you work out that ratio, it gives you a date of September 28th. And so the important thing for people to know is the hardest thing about taking profits in a bull run is when it crashes, it's at its most parabolic level. So people say, I just take all my money out in July. Okay, that's cool. You can do that. You take your money out in July and you'll have some good gains. But the most intense, best part of the bull run when you get the 1000x gains, right before it pops. So that's why I, really, preach to my people about a strategy of trying to kind of dollar cost average starting late summer and thinking about like pulling some profits off the table slowly but surely. Don't take enough profits off to crash the market. Y'all hear me?
And don't do it like a week ago like I did on some of my profits.
Yeah, don't do that.
Just a little bit. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, there sort of like one thing we're doing is we're buying a content house. That's something we're doing. The people will be following on the channel. We have taken some profits in terms of pulling money out.
Yeah.
We're going to buy a content house and make content there and kind of be an extension of our office and things like that. So it's okay if there's like assets you want to.
Yeah, of course, it's an investment.
Or you want to do that, but in terms of trying to maximize your gains, we're just not really to that part of the bull market. You kind of fall more in the general long-term hodler. You don't want to hodl all the way through.
Yeah, of course.
But you want to hodl during the bull market in a lot of cases, because number one way I've seen people lose money in crypto is, jumping in and out of things at the wrong times.
Yeah. Of course.
Over trade, especially if you're newer.
Of course. All right, let's do another one. Ask BitBoy about the potential of NFT. And thank you. And he's like this, thank you.
I like that. We've already done this. Now we've done this.
we got this.
Yeah, we got that too. Wow, a lot of hand movement. Yeah, I think the potential of NFTs is absolutely huge. You see Mark Cuban, you see Logan Paul, you see Post Malone also now jumping into the NFT game with I think a Pokemon NFT concert or something like that he's doing. And obviously we're in NFTs. We see the potential of it. It's one of these things. You kind of look back at decentralized exchanges and you see that a lot of people were talking about they were the next big thing before they were the big thing. And then they became the big thing, and a lot of people missed out on it because they didn't believe in it. NFTs are the next big thing. Now, they may not be next as in this week, but we believe by the springtime, these will be hyper-focused. People will be hyper-focusing on these NFTs because they have so much potential in terms of the mainstream adoption and bringing in the people that are interested in collecting, interested in Pokemon, interested in deck builder games, magic cards, whatever it might be, bringing those people into crypto that might not have found out about it otherwise. Because I just always used to think that like all crypto nerds were into Magic the Gathering, but I found out that they're not because one of my editors was into Magic the Gathering and had never heard of cryptocurrency.
No, we're in Dungeons and Dragons, dude.
Dungeons and Dragons. They're
role-playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. Me, not so much. I played my first deck builder game ever 2 months ago to learn how they worked because we're creating our own. So we were tackling it from the art perspective, with our art, and then we had this idea like let's make it a game. We're gonna be sending out physical copies of the game as well, physical cards. So it's gonna be a real fun thing.
And yeah, everyone check out BitBoy's cards, his NFTs. They're on your website, right?
They're on Rarible right now.
They're on Rarible.
And you just search BitBoy and all our stuff will come up. We will actually be, when we start working with some other platforms, including Superfarm, we'll be probably moving off of Rarible. So. And
also, I'm on Rarible right now. It's so very crypto, one word. I got Miss Satoshi NFTs and stuff like that. It's kind of like a metaverse of crypto. But I'm actually on Mintable.app, and I urge people to check that out practically because I'm working there, and it's a really cool company.
Well, we should be putting out, a card on Mintable pretty soon. I actually checked with my people today. That's something we have been working on.
It's amazing because they're actually quite far ahead of a lot of platforms. They've got a lot of things coming in. I don't want to show them too much because, but it's really worth checking out. Let's put it that way. And I'm not trying to sell any tokens or anything like that, but they're worth checking out. What do you think of this? What do you think? Is this a sign of times coming to an end? Because last time they did. Or do you actually think this is positive? And let me tell you what that is. Lindsay Lohan. No, wait, because this is interesting. Lindsay Lohan comes into cryptocurrencies. She all of a sudden knows about DeFi, finds Tron. Tron DeFi. I don't even know how to do that shit. But anyway, regardless of that, let's say she did. Do you think this is a signal to the end times, to a drop, or do you think this is different this time? Because I do see a lot of artists coming in and stuff. What do you think?
No. She's getting paid. She's getting paid for this.
She's getting paid.
Look, I can't say that for 100% sure because I obviously don't have inner knowledge of this. Why I would say that I believe she is getting paid for, there's something behind this, is because she recently did a video on a site like Cameo, similar to Cameo,
right,
where someone requested her to say Bitcoin's going to $100,000, Bitcoin to the moon. And she said it, and it was a paid thing. Now, not sponsored.
I just get paid.
Paid through a
DogeCoin.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't put a lot of stock into Lindsay Lohan coming into crypto as the top of the market. I would say it's more, people using her as a mouthpiece to talk about what they want to talk about.
But what do you think of Tron as a decentralized platform, though? What do you think about it?
I think Tron is not really decentralized. That's what a lot of people believe. I've got a I know I really supported Tron for a long time.
It's got good marketing.
I thought Tron had a lot of great stuff. I didn't, everybody knows about the white paper stuff or whatever the case may be. But the fact is, they had a really good plan, I thought, on how to maximize the pool of developers from Ethereum by creating the same smart contract language, the same programming language of Solidity.
Yeah.
And so they were able to pull from those people, and they came in, they made a great app in TronBet, which eventually became Wink. They had some really good dApps, and, there were also some that ended up being scams, kind of like with decentralized exchanges. You can't control the decentralized world, right? But at the same time, there just was something that wasn't sitting right with me about it. You know, there was something, I got to know a little bit of some stuff that was going on from some leaks, some different things I was hearing. And there's a lot of questions on whether Tron really is decentralized or not. And I'll just kind of leave that at that. You can kind of think of it in a DPoS, a decentralized or a delegated pool, delegated proof of stake system where you have all these nodes that are running the network. But if maybe one entity controlled the majority of those from the shadows, they could do what they want, then in that case, it wouldn't actually be decentralized. And a lot of people think that is what has happened with Tron.
Got you. Someone say, please, what about VeChain? Now, VeChain is something I had a few rumors about, and they never came to. But what about VeChain? Do you think it's still relevant? What do you think?
Yeah, well, you know, funny enough, we're recording this at 3:08 p.m. my time. At 2 p.m. my time, I just released a VeChain video.
Oh, okay. So, that's what the other thing is underneath. There's this guy. He just uploaded a video about VeChain right under.
It's so funny. Like VeChain feels like it's good.
Dude, BitBoy's 24 hours. Why? How do you think he's got 500,000 subscribers? There's 5 BitBoys. There's 5 brothers. Okay. And if you notice the beard and the hairstyle, I swear, if you notice the hairstyle, it changes and slightly. Ever notice like one can drive and one can't?
Yeah, that's true. One does the dirty work, one writes the scripts, one records. It's so great having clones.
Right.
Brothers.
Right. Clones. Okay. So what do you think about VeChain? Maybe just give us a little summary since you just did the video.
Yeah, so I love the idea that it's the top of the supply chain world. It's one of these industries in crypto that's very rare, kind of like another one that's been exploding is Graph, right? The Graph.
Right.
It's basically kind of like Google for blockchains. Like you can search blockchain data with it. These are two things that they're the only movers really in their industries. You know, they don't really have competition. If you look back at like Wabi and Ambrose and Origin Trail, which I think Origin Trail does some things still, but when you look back at all these competitors to VeChain, ain't none of them made it. Ain't none of them really done anything. You know, VeChain has outshone or outshined all of its competitors by so far, it's ridiculous. And to me, that just shows what a great project is. Nobody can compete with it. And so when you actually overlay the VeChain chart on top of the current Cardano chart, it is almost the same. And right as Cardano is just broken out, now VeChain has had a little breakout, and it also is about to go, I believe, on a parabolic run.
So you think it's a good buy?
The video on it too, and then we talked about it on the live stream as well.
So it's a good buy. Look at everyone's going to their exchanges now, to the Bybit exchanges. Hey, use the links underneath. It's Bybit, there's Binance. Use those links. Everyone running to go. Like, not financial advice, use them.
Let's get Paul to the level where he can get clones too.
Yes, I need some clones.
They're very expensive. Very expensive for clones.
Preferably one that's a little bit thinner.
As you can see, that's not true. You actually want them very consistently the same size as I've done with them.
That's the camera effects. Anyway. All right. What are your thoughts on, I don't even know this project, FIO Protocol?
The FIO Protocol is pretty interesting. I actually do know something about the FIO Protocol. I haven't talked about it ever before on my channel, but I've actually met the people that created it. It's kind of something similar to what Algorand just did with their Mayar, I always say it wrong, with their Mayar app, which you can check out on our Algorand video, where they use a similar system. They call them hero tags, where your address is just kind of like similar to a cash tag for Cash App. It's very easy. It's like a username. You're able to use that to send funds. Well, FIO is the same thing, where you're actually able to send money just through a tag without having to have the complicated public address. Because especially when you have as many addresses as we all have, you get them confused sometimes. I know I've certainly sent money to the wrong address before, but if you just had a name, a username for where you're sending it to and where you're receiving it at, then it's very beneficial. So, I think it's a pretty interesting idea. It's one of these things, kind of like the Clubhouse app. I don't know if you know what that is. It's kind of a new social
I'm hearing about it all the time. I don't know what it is yet. Yeah. I'm a bit late to the game.
Only, so I guess you don't have a lot of friends, Paul.
Okay. Probably. It's not that I don't have a lot of friends. It's just I ignore them.
I can put you in a fight. I got it.
Please do.
I had to go panhandle for it. But
okay.
I made the other clone do it. So the thing is that with Clubhouse, it's a very interesting app. But Gary Vaynerchuk, a guy I like a lot, TJ that works with me, he has shoes signed by Gary P. He calls him Gary. Okay. But he was actually recently talking about Clubhouse and how the idea of a space where people go in and have verbal conversations is cool, but like as an app, it's one thing, but the idea of it can be reproduced anywhere. Like now Twitter has Twitter Spaces, which is doing the same thing Clubhouse is. We saw the same thing happen with stories, with Instagram stories, or with Snapchat stories. Now we should think about Instagram stories. That's the first thing that comes to people's minds, and every platform has them. FIO is kind of the same idea to me, where like it's a great idea, but like you don't necessarily have to use the protocol to integrate that into what you're doing. So we'll just have to see if it's successful or not. Is it like a proprietary code? Like I said, Algorand's already kind of done the same thing, and we've seen some other blockchains try it as well. So it would be nice if we had kind of one protocol that wrapped it all together. So we'll just have to, still a little speculative, see where that one goes.
Did you see how Elon Musk actually said he's doing Clubhouse with Kanye? I'm not sure if he's done it yet or not. But he actually...
I don't think so.
But he said he is, and he said he's gonna... He said something about the most unlikely outcome is probably the one that's gonna happen, but it was... I can't remember the exact quote, but it was the same quote that he'd said about DogeCoin before he announced he bought it, right? On his... If you like really look into it. So I really have a theory that Elon Musk and Kanye are gonna buy the shit out of Doge. I really do, man. I really do think this. I'm not sure when it's gonna. I'm excited to see if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that cryptocurrency is going to come up in that conversation in one form or fashion. So what is it? Maybe there will be a new one. Maybe there's Kanye coin.
Maybe there's Kanye coin, or Musk coin.
So it's.
Do you think it's a good idea?
No, don't do that. Actually, I was thinking that would be kind of cool, but that's not cool. Actually.
Maybe not. But do you think it's a good idea to hold some Doge anyway, regardless, just in case? I'm being serious. I'm all serious right now.
I think so. I think that the thing about Dogecoin is you're really just basing everything off of Elon tweeting. That's what you're basing it, or Kanye tweeting. Like that's all you're basing it.
Elon mentals.
Elon mental. You're really just hoping that they're going to keep talking about it, because if they stop talking about it, the conversation dies.
You're gone.
And the value returns to more accurately where it should be. Does Dogecoin have a place in the crypto ecosystem? Absolutely. It's one of the oldest coins.
Yeah.
It's been around. It's proven its worth. The low price of it basically says that, when someone wants to liquidate some holdings in Dogecoin to be able to have Bitcoin in order to make big moves, whales, they do that. If you go look at the order books on Binance, this is one of the most interesting things in crypto. If you go look at the order books on Binance for how much Bitcoin is on every single Satoshi of Dogecoin, it will blow your mind.
Wow.
It's way more than any other project out there. And so because of that, it's got a place, but it's a meme coin, and it is a meme coin. It's a community coin. Not going to be the currency of the world. Nobody thinks.
I don't know, but that's the thing, though. It's the most unlikely outcome. Musk believes in irony, like sarcasm and stuff like that. And he says, like, usually the one coin that makes fun of crypto is going to become the reserve currency. It would be pretty hilarious and ironic, though. I'm not saying it is. Don't.
It would be ironic, but by them talking about it, it kind of disqualifies it from being a surprise. So I think it would kind of negate his whole argument.
Snoop Doggy Dogg changed his name allegedly to Snoop Doge.
It has an unlimited supply, and that is a big problem for it. I think that just when you look at the supply of Dogecoin, it's just so much. There's no way this thing's going to ever become like a viable medium.
SpaceX buys 1.5 billion.
In Bitcoin, they're only buying.
I'm kidding, but can you imagine?
Tesla's not buying Dogecoin for its
No, of course
treasury. What's it buying? Bitcoin. You can't look at the words. You got to look at the action.
Yeah, of course.
Determine, what's going on.
All right, go Doge. My dog has Doge. I have a Doge. I have a Doge.
For the people that invest in it,
I have a Doge. Go on.
Oh, I was gonna say we've owned Dogecoin. We like Dogecoin. We're in support of it. I love Doges. I have 5 Doges at home. So
my dog has a Doge. My dog has a Dogecoin charity, not charity. What's the word, man? I forgot the word. Donations thing underneath. It's a DogeCoin. It's for my dog. It's my little pit bull. Anyway.
We love bulldogs. In Georgia, especially.
What do you have? What kind of dogs do you have?
I have 2 English bulldogs.
Beautiful.
We have 1 Chihuahua. That's my dog, Little Miko. Chihuahua. He's my little friend. He speaks Spanish, obviously.
Of course.
And then we have 1 large kind of like golden retriever, but he's black and brown.
Okay.
So I don't know what you call it. He's a mutt. And then we have another one that's a mutt that's a mix between a dachshund and a Jack Russell.
Amazing. I have a pit bull. I have an American Amstaff, basically.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty big, pretty muscular. It's like this, like
Not
me.
like you.
Yeah, like me. Let me see if we have any more questions here. Please ask him what he thinks. Okay, what do you think about Hex?
Ooh, God, no, that's a tough one. Because I made a lot of money with Hex, but I never promoted it.
Why?
Why? Because the fundamentals behind it, and then the price, performance, it's just so disconnected for me, and it's hard to imagine how it's gone up this much. And I don't want to, I don't accuse anyone of anything when it comes to Richard. And we had Richard on. I really enjoyed having him on the show.
Yeah, we did too.
He's
amazing. He knows his shit.
He's very entertaining.
Yeah, and he knows he can debate. He's one of the best debaters out there.
Absolutely, he is a master debater, and I think that I consider him to be a friend. I like Richard,
right?
And so I don't dog the project. A lot of people are so quick to call things scams,
yeah.
And they come out and they called Hex a scam right from the beginning, and it made it kind of like toxic where I didn't really want to touch it or talk about it per se. I let him come on my podcast and talk about it one time. And then he came on my show, around the time the big payday happened and things like that. But I've never told anyone to click on a ref link or go buy it. I'm just doing it for informational purposes, so you guys are armed with more information. But so many people called it a scam at the very beginning, and some people would make the argument that in a lot of ways, like much of crypto is a scam. Like it's all on speculation, and these products aren't actually getting used yet. Especially when you look in the world of DeFi, like even what we're talking about, all these yield farming platforms and all these, different kinds of things like synthetics, right? Like you can't actually go buy all these products yet. So we got to see where it's all going to end up. But a lot of the fundamentals of Hex and Richard's project match up with a lot of projects that
they do.
DeFi.
They do. So
he was just kind of on it before a lot of other people were. So I did. Here's exactly what happened. I did a podcast with Richard, and after the podcast, he said, I want to send you some Hex to try out. I said, okay. So he sent me $350. And then the funny story is we actually had to re-record the podcast because it got botched and I didn't hit record.
Okay.
So the thing is he'd given it to me in between the recording. So it wasn't sponsored. He had given it to me after the first one, and we just had $350. Me and my co-host, the new Money Gang, Jay Chains, or Justin, we had $350 worth. We have withdrawn it all at this point. We cashed it out for $36,000 for the first one, and for I think $18,000 for the second one, for the second withdrawal. So we made almost $60,000 off $350 that was given to us for free with it. So I never bought it, I never owned it, I never promoted it, but we did really well with it, and that's all I can really say. I can only give you the factual information of my experience with it, and don't want to speculate on anything else.
Yeah, we did like a 5 or 6 hour live show together, and he didn't send me no fucking coins.
He's something.
I'm gonna contact him, man. I'm gonna be like, yo, man, what's up with that?
He's somehow less humble than I am. And
I like him. I like Richard.
Right.
But this is
I'm the humblest person you know.
You know what my issue was with Hex? I didn't understand it. That's why I stayed away. It talked about something about putting your Bitcoin and putting it in, but not. And I was scared, man. I was like, I can't do that to my Bitcoin, man. I didn't get it though. Now you just put your MetaMask and everything. You don't care because you feel comfortable, and it's still a little like, oh, should I do this? Let's take. But back then it was new, right? I think he's like the Scott Stornetta of DeFi, dude. I mean, this guy was like way before. Do you think? Can you say that Richard Hart was the father of DeFi, or a predecessor of DeFi, or the Jimi Hendrix before his time of DeFi? What do you think? I don't know. Maybe
I don't know how many drugs he's done, okay? What I would say about Richard Hart is that he was definitely a pioneer in the space.
Yeah.
And he understands things a lot better than a lot of people. And some people would say he uses that, to take advantage of people. Other people would say he just uses it to his advantage. And I think that, he's a person that, I'm not going to call him the father of DeFi, because here's the truth. There were a lot of DeFi projects that were out before Hex. There were a lot of DeFi projects that were out before he, even came up with the idea for it. But he definitely was one of the pioneers of DeFi and coming up with the idea for Hex and certificates of deposit and things like that. And I will say this. I'd never bought any Hex. I told you guys exactly what happened, and it happened exactly that way. But, there is, because you were talking about, you thought about getting into it or whatever. There definitely is a big disconnect between what I will personally invest in and what I will talk about on my channel and encourage people, to look at as good investment opportunities. I may invest in something that's super, super, super risky. I may put my own money in something. I got rug pulled over the summer several times because I was doing super risky stuff with my money. But we certainly don't encourage our listeners or audience or newer people to crypto to do those same risky things. But you're responsible for yourself. People are big boys and big girls. They can certainly make their own decisions. But yeah, so there are a lot of times there are projects that I would never promote or never talk about or never, give a platform that I'll put my own money in and just see what happens. And I think to really make big money in crypto, you do have to, you can't be risk adverse, I would say.
All right, now after 1 hour, someone's saying your mic's not working. How can you be listening to 1 hour of the show and saying, no, your mic is working? It's the OBS thing that I did. So they're probably listening to you lower than they can listen to me. But I'm pretty sure they can hear you though. Hit a 1 if you can at least hear Ben speak. Or have you been just like reading his lips all this time? Or 2, if you can like hear me speak. I'd really, and not Ben, I'd really like to know. Because that might be a reason like, it might be a bad thing. We're going to have to start over, Ben. No, just kidding. Let's see what's good.
I got a 6-minute hard cutoff. Right, about that too. Good time.
Voice is okay. Okay, so it's okay. People can hear you. It's okay. So maybe it's not the best quality, but people can hear you. It's fine. So let me ask you a few more questions, and then maybe we can pick it up next time as well, because I'm sure you have something else to do after this, don't you?
Yeah, I've got in 5 minutes I've got another interview. I'm going to go talk about Polkadot.
Oh, 5 minutes. Okay, so let's make sure. So I won't take more than 10. So like this video if you're watching. Subscribe to both our channels if you like it.
I was fine. Is that because I was 5 minutes late to yours? I was in another interview.
Right. Let me do exactly. Let me do. Okay. All right. Let me do some quick questions, okay? And we'll end with a very good one because you know me. I like ending my interviews with something crazy. All right. So, 5 coins to hold in the midterm. 5 coins to hold in the short term. You already talked about DeFi before. Once you're in. Yeah. 5 for the midterm. 5 for the short term for a quick flip. Go.
Oh wow, that's a big question.
Of course.
I'll have to, let me pull up CoinMarketCap and look what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
I think for the long term, I think when you look at projects like the Ethereum competitors, when you look at Ethereum, when you look at Polkadot, those are 2 coins to me that are definitely longer term holds because their true potential, I think, is going to be shown in the next bull run. This one's speculation. I think their true potential for what they can do is definitely going to be shown. That I would say another one that could be a long-term hold would be, let's see, I think the Graph is a great project. I think there's one like VeChain that is doing something nobody else is really doing or competing with them. The more, you guys see how many coins there are. There's like 8,500 coins right now just on CoinMarketCap. There's way more than that in reality, like 20, 30,000 probably. And we're going to need something that's going to be able to crawl that data. So I would definitely say the Graph is another one. I think a kind of an underrated one is Solana, SOL. You can find it on Binance.us if you're in the United States, or Binance.com, obviously. This is one that a lot of big companies are working with and working on. They have something called the Wormhole. They've got some really cool platform integrations. There's a lot of stuff to like about Solana. I think it's the one that uses proof of time, and so it's got a really interesting consensus mechanism. So I think that's another one. And the last one I would say is Algorand. I really
Algorand.
like Algo. I love
Really?
Algorand. Well, it doesn't have a lot of hype.
Long
right?
term?
It pumped today really good, like 35%. It's up 105% for the week. But with Algorand, you've got Silvio McCauley behind it, who is he's the godfather of cryptography. He basically created cryptography. Obviously you can't create the study of something, but he is the founding father of it. A lot of crypto projects are built on top of his ideas, and so I think that over time, this one is going to be one that's going to be able to really compete and get up there and do really well. In terms of ones you're looking for short flips, I mean, I definitely, I've given a lot of them, but I would say Litecoin is one to keep your eye on right now because Litecoin has not pumped. Litecoin has not had that
wait, short term or mid term?
This one would be short term.
Okay, Litecoin is something for now.
Longer term. You want me to do short, mid, and long?
Okay, this is short term. Short term so they can flip into the thing.
Just long and short. So for short term, I'm saying Litecoin because you want to catch it when it gets that explosive move. At some point, it will go from $150 to $300 in a very short period of time. You want to be able to catch that, and so that's one I definitely think will do well. Another one on the short term is Stellar. I think Stellar can also be, an argument can be made it's a long term as well. But Stellar is a project that is getting a lot of benefits from the XRP lawsuit right now. And is having a lot of adoption talk. It's working with Ukraine to be their currency. But when it comes to the long term, if the SEC settles with XRP and they're able to come back into the game, I mean, they haven't dropped that far. They're still they're number 6 now. It's the lowest they've been in years and years and years. But an XLM may pass them in the short term. But if they get the keys to the kingdom back, and now they don't have to worry about further SEC action, then XLM could see a dip. So I would say that's another one on the short term that I would say is really good. And I'll go back to the three, just the last three, and they are, so you can definitely make an argument for long term as well. Aave, Link, and Compound, there's a lot of rumors out there about an alliance, about stuff going on behind the scenes, maybe with Wall Street, maybe with some big money, maybe with some big institutional investment channels. Those are three right now that I'm looking at. We have, I have 2 different sets. I've got part of these projects that are in vaults and locked down, and then I got parts of them that are liquid for short-term flips. And if they do get some big announcements in the coming weeks and they start to explode, then we can trade out and get out of those.
Nice. Okay. Now, last question. Advice for people holding XRP.
Oh, wow. Okay. Advice for people holding XRP. At this point, if you are still holding XRP, you are very committed. I own some XRP. We have a little. It's not very much, but we do have some XRP, and we are not going to get rid of it. We're going to ride it out and see what happens. I think if you are waiting to get explosive gains during this bull run, you probably want to get out of it and move to something else.
Yeah.
If you have it as part of your portfolio, it's a long-term investment. You have to keep in mind what I said about a second ago between XLM and XRP. If the SEC lawsuit is settled and they're able to get all of their functionality back without the fear of a future SEC lawsuit, then they might be able to move like they've never moved before. So, it's one of those things like a rubber band. The further you pull it back, it's either going to snap or it's going to explode back up. And I think that's what we're going to see from XRP.
I agree. I made a lot of videos about that. I actually changed my XRP right before the extreme drop, right before the news, because it broke support. And I put it in SNX, believe it or not, which was very good for me. And then basically what's going on right now is that I made a few videos. If they win the SEC lawsuit, as the exchanges are adding them back on, we have time to buy back in, right? Yeah. At least that's my theory. And anyway.
Well, you know how those XRP,
Oh my God, the comments, dude, the comments.
They'll be buying up their own coins before, once they know that they're about to settle. So when you start seeing XRP moving big time, it might be a sign of things to come. Well, one way or the other.
Last question by Hussein. What about Wi-Fi? The market cap is not high.
About Wi-Fi? About YFI? About
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, the market cap is very high here in finance.
It is, Hussein. It is bad.
Yeah,
it's high, man.
It's very high. Where is it? I can't find it right now. Let's see. Let me see where it is right now on the rankings. Let's see. YFI. You're in finance coming in right now at number 43 on CoinMarketCap with a market cap of $1.8 billion. And I think that, this is another one of those kind of projects that took everything by storm and to $50,000 per coin now. And it is one to keep your eye on. I mean, it's a blue chipper in the DeFi world, and it's not going anywhere. So I think YFI is a fine investment. I didn't include it. I don't think I included my top 5 DeFi picks for the year in a video that I made. The reason would be because it might have already had its most explosive gains, but we don't know that for sure. YFDI, a project I'm an advisor for, a marketing advisor for, they are doing a lot of similar things and using that same model of the low supply and the burning. So that's one to look at. If you missed your finance, you might want to look at YFDI.
Awesome. I'm actually gonna look at that myself. All right. Is there anything else you want to say before we cut this stream?
Paul, thanks for having me on. I love coming on, love talking crypto with you. You have some good, insightful questions, and look forward maybe to being back on down the road.
I would love to have you back on, man. Thank you so much. Like this video, subscribe to BitBoy Crypto's channel. Check him out. Check out his NFTs. Check out his stuff. Check out everything. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.